Coach, let's talk a little bit about that Toledo game because you found out not 30 minutes before kickoff you weren't going to have your quarterback.
Yeah, certainly was a tough day at the office. Not the outcome we were expecting, but credit to Coach Candle and his staff. They did a nice job with the game plan and executing, and certainly one where we got to kind of lick our wounds, learn from it, and move on.
Had to play against one of the better defensive units in Toledo, top 10 defense. That was also a big challenge.
Yeah, it was. We knew that going in, and as we talked about last week, we were going to have to generate explosive plays to score points, and losing a big part of our pass game, certainly didn't help or exacerbated the situation, and the result was us only being able to score 3. So that was certainly not something we were anticipating, but one we got to learn from and move on.
Looking at some positives from this game, you guys only had 3 penalties for 16 yards, and all season you guys really haven't been committing a lot of penalties.
Yeah, and that's something where during the course of any game there are going to be some errors of commission where you maybe have a hold or a false start or some things that you don't want to do a ton of, but you can. But the things after the whistles have been good. We've every single year we've cleaned up the late hits, kind of some of the stuff that I classify as nonsense, unnecessary penalties that don't have anything to do with the game. So if we can continue down the path of not beating ourselves and limiting those negative kind of plays, I think it'll benefit us moving forward.
Back-to-back good games from your kicker, Owen Wiley. Do you feel his early season woes are kind of behind him?
I believe so, and part of that is shoring up the protection. Owen's misses really didn't have a ton to do with aside from the ones that were cleanly protected and he missed, a couple of those early misses were just terrible protection where we had guys leaking through and blocking them. And but once we've shored up the protection, I'm not sure that he's missed one since we've kind of cleaned that up.
One of the other positive, Coach, from Saturday, you got to play a lot of young guys, got them some snaps.
Yeah, a positive takeaway from an incredibly negative situation relative to the outcome. But yeah, guys who normally wouldn't get into a game and get those valuable reps, guys like Rigaud and some of those other guys. Heck, we ended the game with, 2 walk-ons playing running back because of injuries and those guys. But yes, I mean, long story short, a bunch of guys that got experience against a very good opponent that, for their development individually and our development as a team should benefit us moving forward.
You got Central Michigan coming to town Saturday for homecoming, 3:30 kickoff there, a football team that loves to run the football.
They do. Coach Drinkle's done a very nice job in his first season coming in from Army with some of that DNA of, getting downhill and running the ball at you and having a lot of physicality and, the defense stopping the run and playing very sound and aggressive, and they've been very good on special teams. So 3-2, three quality wins, 2 losses to Power 4 teams, and, it's going to be a huge challenge.
Does going out there and playing well at homecoming mean a little bit more to this team?
I think it means anytime you can play well, number one, in front of a home crowd, and number 2 for homecoming, where you're trying to, galvanize, people returning back to campus. I think the atmosphere that Dr. Goodrich and his staff have provided, particularly at the last game against Duquesne, you can kind of feel some of the energy and some of the atmosphere that you want to see at a college football game. So, hopefully we can build off of that for Central and have a big crowd and, have Akron alumni back on campus and in the stadium, and we can play well and give them something to be proud of.